All right, let's get right into it. So Marvel and Sony just dropped the title for the next Spider-Man movie. And wow, it's called Brand New Day. Now, this isn't just some random, cool-sounding title they pulled out of a hat. No, it's a huge clue. It's a direct nod to one of the most game-changing and, honestly, controversial moments in all of Spider-Man's comic book history.
So that's the big question on everyone's mind, right? What does Brand New Day actually mean for Tom Holland's Peter Parker? I mean, last we saw him, he was totally alone, completely forgotten by literally everyone he ever knew. To figure out what's coming, we have to connect the dots between the movie we're about to get and the comic that started it all.
But before we go digging through old comic books, let's just lay out what we know for sure about the movie itself, the official details. This is going to give us the framework we need to piece this all together.
Okay, so you can see right away it's a mix of the familiar and the new. Of course, we've got Tom, Zendaya, and Jacob coming back, but we have a new director, Destin Daniel Cretton, who did Shang-Chi. And look who's crashing the party. Jon Bernthal is back as the Punisher, and we're expecting to see Charlie Cox as Daredevil. That alone tells you this is going to be a much more grounded, street-level story.
And here's the plot summary from IMDb. It basically confirms we're picking up right where No Way Home left off. Peter's trying to protect his friends by staying away from them, but you know that classic Parker luck? It just won't let him have a moment of peace. He has to break that promise he made to himself and suit up. So there it is, the central conflict, his own life versus his responsibility.
And you can mark your calendars, because we're going to see how this all shakes out on July 31st, 2026.
All right, so that's the movie stuff. But the real key here, the Rosetta Stone to understanding what Brand New Day really means, it's not in a press release. You got to go back and open up a comic book from 2008 that completely hit the reset button on the wall crawler for a whole new generation. Now, here's the thing. To get Brand New Day, you have to first understand the story that came right before it, called One More Day. This event in 2007 was a huge deal. It totally shook up the Spider-Man universe, and it's what set the stage for the massive reset that happened just a few months later. So, get this. The situation was, Aunt May is dying. A totally desperate Peter Parker makes a literal deal with the devil, the demon Mephisto. Mephisto says, sure, I'll save her life. But the price was the most precious thing Peter had, his marriage and entire history with Mary Jane. Poof, it was just magically erased from reality, like it never even happened.
And this deal had three huge consequences that kicked off the Brand New Day. 1, the marriage was gone. 2, the whole world, which knew his secret identity from the Civil War storyline, suddenly forgot that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. And 3, certain characters, like his best friend Harry Osborn, were magically brought back to life. It was a complete and total fresh start.
So why on earth did Marvel do all this? Well, their goal was to take Spider-Man back to basics. They wanted a younger, single Peter Parker who was always broke, struggling to make rent and fighting muggers on the streets of New York, not aliens in space. A friendly, neighborhood Spider-Man. Does that ring any bells about where the MCU just left him?
And this is where it all just clicks into place. The parallels are impossible to ignore. In the comics, the trigger was a deal with Mephisto. In the MCU, it was a spell from Doctor Strange. In the comics, his marriage and identity were wiped out. In the movie, every single memory of Peter Parker was erased from existence. The how is different, but the result is exactly the same. A lonely, anonymous, back-to-basics Spider-Man. The MCU basically just pulled off its own version of Brand New Day.
So what does this all mean for the movie? Well, it's pretty clear we're heading towards a Peter who is really, truly struggling. We're talking about rent money, loneliness, trying to juggle college and being a hero. He's going to have to build a new life with a new supporting cast from square one. And he's doing it all on his own. No more Stark tech. It's really the perfect setup for him to team up with other street-level heroes like Daredevil and the Punisher. And look, this isn't just us guessing. We're hearing that Tom Holland himself was a huge part of crafting this new story. He's been saying for a while that he wants a more grounded, down-to-earth version of the character. And the Brand New Day idea gives him the perfect way to do that.
It all just comes back to this, doesn't it? With great power comes great responsibility. We've heard that phrase a million times, but we have never seen it tested like this in the MCU. I mean, what does that responsibility really mean when you have nothing left? When you have no one? When you've sacrificed everything for it? This movie is ready to explore that idea in the most raw way possible. So, at the end of the day, Brand New Day isn't just a title.
It's a statement. It's a promise of a completely new status quo and a massive test of character. So as Peter steps into this new day, no friends, no money, no safety net, the real question is this: is it going to be a true new beginning for him as a hero? Or is the loneliness going to be the one thing that finally truly breaks Spider-Man? I guess we'll find out in 2026.